Welcome to Trading Lounge in the US indices for the 24th of November. Our hosts, where we put our website, manage.com, were attacked on the 16th of November with some ransomware. The FBI and the whole team is looking into it. There's thousands of websites down on that. We've been with them for well over 10 years, and they're such a great company, and it's very sad that this has happened to them and to all of us, and reflecting back on you guys as well. So thanks for putting up with that. We've created another website, as our clients know. So we're posting to that website, and we're making some better functionality on that website as well. So look, apologies for that. It's just beyond our control, and it's something that we just got to work through. It's part of the modern age, but I certainly have learnt that we do need a second backup website, and that's what we're working on with another server. So well, there you go. So okay, the SP 500 on the weekly chart here. As you know, we're looking from wave 4 here, and we're looking for this move to the upside here, either as wave 1 here and then pulling back for wave 2 and then heading higher, or wave 5 finishing and terminating here. So we're looking for 5 waves from wave C or 4 here up to wave 1 here. So we've been counting as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and we're looking for 5 waves up here. Is it possible to have wave 5 here? Yes, it is. But there's a few good reasons that the market can push higher as well. Obviously, the trend line through here is the giant megaphone, as folks call it, which is quite a good name. Is really still holding the market down at this point through here. But anyway, let's go in and have a little look at this this area in here today, and we'll also look at the Nasdaq as well. We looked at all the main stocks yesterday, so I don't think we really need to look at them today. Perhaps we'll do that tomorrow again, the Facebooks and Amazons and so on. So here we're looking at this wave 3 here as an A and a B and a C for wave 4. As you know, we're looking up here at wave 1 here. Now, because this was a bit of a spike here, it does chuck a bit of a spanner in the works. And sometimes when I'm just looking at this chart here for a visual, you know, I'd sort of like to ignore that and put that over here, and would end up with a deeper correction down here. So there's two ways this can unfold here. Pulling back here, it has been pulling back, as you know, sort of reluctantly pulling back. So I'm thinking that we'll get a shallow sort of retracement, and a shallow retracement instead of the 61.8% around the 35 area here as a really nice support. So basically a touch down close to the 35 and then a move up from that point. However, we do need to be open to the market moving down further into the 50-60% retracement level. So any long trade that we have moving up through here based on the 35 or down here, we'd need a very clear solid entry point for that. So that's something that we'll work on today for that as well. But all things going according to plan, then we should be looking at 1 and 2 here. I think the bounce off the 35 just about do it, and then wave 3, 4 and 5 up here for wave 1 at that point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into group 1 here of 4,000. So 1, 2 and 3, 100, 200 and 300. And once that's done, then we can look for this wave 2 to pull back here, which really this will be a classic trading levels pattern across that particular level there. That's what we'll be looking at. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC here for wave 2, that will probably pull back to the wave 4 down here, if not a tad lower, and then move up from that point. So let's go in and have a closer look at the intraday 4-hour chart here. So this is what we've been working with here. So there's two things here, as I mentioned. We've been looking from that wave 4 here up here in 5 waves for wave 1. We've been looking at this as an A wave, 3 waves for the B wave here, and then we're looking for 5 waves down here. Now I can see that it's really it's reluctant to move down, but I think it still needs to make another low here. The wave 4 across here has just gotten a little bit large, but in a nutshell we can count this in a couple of ways, but just very simply 1 and 2, and you can see the third wave here and a sideways correction for wave 4. So we're still looking for one more move down, and then we can look for our move to the upside from that point, and we'll go in and have a closer look at this as well. I suppose it's possible that, you know, just shooting the breeze here, just if we put wave 1 over here and didn't worry about the spike here, then we could look at this as 3, 4 and 5 moving down here lower to this point, and then an ABC for wave 4 here. Not a very good C wave, so it doesn't ring true here for that much. And then wave 5 here, but we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for the A wave, back for the B, and down for the C wave. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of that. It's probably not the case, but I think it's just good to, you know, well, talk about it a bit, you know. So problems are always good talked about. So yeah, I think in either case though, the line in the sand is the 3600. So any support on that creates the long trade. Okay, the rest of it's just sort of a bit noise. And you know, the fact is that if this is wave 1 here, well then wave 3 is either going to be equal to the size of wave 1 roughly, or add another 60% on, but I feel that it will be across the 34 here like this, all of this here, as I just mentioned before with the other one. So something like that here, coming up into group 1, 1, 2 and 3 here, because 1, 2 and 3 really they're sort of glass roofs, really glass ceilings, and they'll pull it back to the closest largest number. So we're going to see a fair bit of activity around that 4,000 in this case. That's the way we're looking at it, but let's just drill in further with this. So on the 1 hour chart here, we've got wave 1 here, an A wave, an A, B, C here for the B wave. There's different ways to count this down through here as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to this particular point here for wave 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then we still need 5 waves to pull us lower into this space here. So I've got this old trend line coming through here close to the 35, so that's where I'm thinking, you know. So wave extensions in wave 3, so we can look at wave 1, whichever way we'll want to look at it. I mean, if you looked at it on the cash market, you would look at it, this is wave 2 over here on the cash market. So this is half futures, half CFD, half cash. So once again, on the 3600 here would be the long trade at that point. Now, obviously, let's just pretend for a moment that this move, we do get another low here. This does appear to be corrective. There is a case here that, well, it's a bit slim putting wave 4 here, by the way, but this is in 5 waves here as the C wave, as an ABC here. But it's possible that that's wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, and we could just go straight up from here. That's possible. If that's the case, then we'd look for a classic trading levels pattern on this level here. So you always wait for the first high above the level. So I know you want to get excited and want to push buttons and so on, but that particular high is just really important, you know. And then the second, you normally get, most of the time you'll get a second high, so you can bring that down to that point there to move in. So if I'm wrong and we don't come down here and we get this, then obviously, you know, you need to be long at that point. And you may as well wait for it, really, because, you know, we're in a wave 3, so there'll be plenty, you know, plenty to go on here with that. So, you know, also, I'm not that, if you know me, I'm not that keen on trading against the trend. So I don't really call trades out against the trend unless it's a really large pattern And if you're a scalper, well, then it doesn't really matter. You know, it's all within the day, and a day is a day, and another day, you know. So, but you know, out of five, if you're a day trader, this is kind of worth thinking about a little bit. If you're an intraday trader, you know, and there's 5 days in the week, then you know, all of those 5 days are not going to be fantastic days to trade, are they? So you really need to recognize that, and really, sort of on average, you'll get 2 good days to trade out of 5 days. If you're lucky, you'll get 3. So that's why I always find that depending if you're in a bullish market or bearish market, you start to notice the things. You know, if we're in a bullish market, the Friday can be strong, and the Monday can be strong, and the Tuesday can be up, but it's up down in the morning and up in the afternoon, and then you get into your swing day. So really, Friday and Monday are good to trade long if that's the case, you know. Thursdays you can trade short on a Thursday. So yeah, you got to kind of, you know, just understand that you're not going to get 5 days, and that way you can reduce and expand, you know, because if you're making money, you want to expand with that, really, don't you? And if you're losing money, you need to sort of reduce and your position sizing, and you know, if you work with that, then that's helpful. Anyway, sorry for waffling on. So let's just go to the 15-minute chart here for this. So I was sort of thinking, well, don't need to go back way over, but 1 here, ABC for 2, down for 1, ABC for 2, down for 3, back for 4 and down for 5 here for that. Hasn't really made a new low here, but yeah, it's possible. The A, the B and the C wave here for wave 4. Like I said, it could be wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2 here, and then moving up higher from that point. But that 36 is your catalyst at that point. Look, you could probably build in on the on top of the 8 at this point, because obviously that's the resistance. But once again, these are all the first highs above the level, so that's where you'd put your trigger at that point. You may have gone long here, but then dropping under the 72, you'd need to be out at that point. Yeah, so the other thing here, the only thing about this wave 1 here doesn't really count very nicely, because it really counts in 3 waves down here. I can see it in 5 waves in terms of wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 to here, wave 4 to here, and wave 5 to here. So I can force it in here, and this would be an A and a B and probably a C wave up to that point. We can go to the tick chart in a moment and look at that. It's moving up on lower volume end of the session, I suppose. So yeah, weakness on that front, but this is just a CFD, and that you need to look at the index volume and futures volume for that. Tick chart, we can just have a quick look in that point there. So this can be counted different here. I mean, I could go an ABC for the A wave, back for the B wave, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. We've made a high here, so we've got an extra wave in here, so we'd have to use this one here. So an A wave, a B wave, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we could put that wave 2 on that spot there. Like I say, it doesn't really count down as a fantastic 5 wave. We've got 5 waves in here. Retracement here, 1, 2, probably 3, 4 and 5 in here, pushing it a little bit, but a 3rd wave here, 4th wave and 5th wave. As I say, I'm kind of like pushing the envelope here a little bit on that, but let's just check out the Fibo thing. So that's coming in at that block there, so that's okay at that point. I mean, if we're going to see a move above that 61.8%, well, then we've got a problem with this particular count here. But like I said, the safe trade to go along is on the 36 at this point. And if we're coming down here, then we can look at this in terms of wave 3, 4, and 5 coming down here close to the 35 area here. It may hit the 35, it may just stay within group 2 and move off from that point. I'm not quite sure about that. So yeah, let's just go back and recap this situation here. So we're looking for 4 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 that may come down to the 35 and may not at that point. So you just need to be a bit mindful of that. So we're still looking for that. I suppose if we just come down to the 35 and you can count 5 waves down there, well then it does create a buying opportunity. So in that regard, we'll be sort of heading up at that point. So this is where the levels can come in handy. So let's just say for a moment that the market comes down and hits the 35. If it hits the 35 and then finds support on top of group 1 here, on top of the 30, the 35.30, then you can go long from that point, because at least getting a tested support on top of 3 will get you to 5. And if you get a support on 5 there, then you can go long from that point. Then you can also add on top of group 2, and of course then you can build in on top of the 3600 there. So you can get those 4 trades in at that point. If it just comes down to the 35.30 and bounces off that, then perhaps look at waiting for this group up here to become the support and then move in from that point. I want to have a look at the Nasdaq as well, so I'm going to bring that chart across. So with the Nasdaq, we've been looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 up here, and then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming back down to the 61.8%. In this case, we probably could look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here and down for 3 here and coming back for 4 here. So in this case here, we're still looking for this to move down further. Now, the safe trade here, of course, would be sitting on 12,000. However, if this does move down through here, right, and then you can see an impulse wave with 5 waves in it up here, then a pullback there, then you can look to get in, above this second high here, with the view of adding onto 12,000, on 12.1, on 12.2, and building to the upside in that point. But whatever you do, we still need to prove that we're going to the upside. This wave 1 here, this wave 1's okay. This wave 2 here is a little bit dodgy, but it has pulled back to the 61.8%. This can be counted as 5 waves here, a bit dodgy, so you could count it as corrective. This being an A and a B and a C wave down through this point here. All of this is not the strongest pattern that I've seen, so it's a little bit flimsy. So if you do trade this market, waiting for 12,000 to become the support would be the safest trade I could point out in going to the long side, because you'd be above the supply, then you'd be above the sellers, which means that the demand has waved out the sellers and taken control of the market. So, but it is bouncing around the 50-60% retracement level, so that's good. Let's just see if it holds at this point here, and then look for support on top of that level there. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.